Welcome, seekers and visionaries, to Oracle Mountain Chats. Here on this sacred virtual peak, we gather, a space for oracles to share their wisdom, their visions, and their craft. It all began with a calling I could not ignore. One day, within a vision, I held this conch shell in my hands, and as I blew its resonant note into the world, I felt its vibration ripple across unseen realms. It was a summons, a signal to fellow oracles scattered near and far. I saw that we were on a mountain, vast and towering, reaching into the heavens. At its base, the world buzzed with life, people moving, creating, searching. Yet at the summit, there was stillness, clarity, and a circle of light. There, oracles stood, their gaze focused both outward and inward. They spoke of the energies they felt, the shifts they saw, and the whispers of the unseen. They weren't above the world, they were its witnesses and its guides. From this vision, OracleFest was born, a celebration of connection, insight, and the timeless wisdom that flows through us all. Here we gather as oracles to share the visions Spirit whispers to us, to speak of the energy currents flowing through nature and humanity, and to help guide those who seek answers in a world that often feels lost. So grab a seat, breathe in the mountain air, and join us as we begin today's chat. Whether it's an energy reading, a conversation about our craft, our path, or simply sharing a perspective on the world below, this is where we wait for more oracles to join us on the mountain. What wisdom will the mountain bring us today? Let's find out together. Step into this sacred space where the wisdom of the ages converges with the questions of the present. Welcome back, everyone, to Oracle Mountain. Oh, feels so good to be here. You know, I go to Oracle Mountain on my own, but it's so nice with friends. So today we are joined by Michelle Motuzas, who I always like to announce. I feel so happy that you're part of this Abundance Podium coming up on Saturday. If you're watching this in the time that we've released this, or you want to catch the replay. But I feel so blessed that you're coming in through Abundance, because I've been doing a lot of reflecting about creating OracleFest in the first place and what it means. And you're one of the first 5 speakers who ever signed up. And it was a real vote of confidence, because I had used your deck. Yours was the first, or you know this, but yours was the first Oracle deck I ever purchased. And so your work and your art has kept me connected to shamanic work over the years. It's kept me feeling inspired and open to what could be possible, because that was before a time where I'd even known that healing work could be a career that I actually do. And so I feel like it's such a personal feeling to me to always welcome you back to the space. And we get along so well, you know, we just kind of have some similar personalities, but I think I always value your presence on Oracle Mountain, because you tell it like it is and you are yourself, and we need of a lot more of that. Right now, everyone complains to me that things don't feel authentic enough online. And I would say that you're a bringer of authenticity to this world. So thank you, Michelle, for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I am nothing if not authentic. Sometimes.
And I love
it. I don't think at this point, after this many years, I could do anything else. It would feel wrong.
You know, it's funny because folks don't know this, but we were just talking for a good half hour here before.
Catching up.
Yes, exactly. Which I often love when that happens before an Oracle Mountain chat, because so many of the themes are then sort of brought to the surface. I was doing a lot of reflecting on this, and I'd be interested to hear, any wisdom or stories of your own. I've been doing a lot of reflecting recently on identity and leadership, and also the feeling of being seen. Because, I was questioning sensitive folks and hustling and being seen all the time, and what that can do to someone, what that, can feel like. So I'd be curious what's been coming up for you in that realm.
So that's exactly what's been coming up. I mean, we connected in our chat that we've both coming off being sick for a while, right? I was sick mid-May till I'm just starting to get better. And I was really sick. I was on the couch for 3 weeks, couldn't go to work. And the first thought that entered my mind was, I'm almost 60. Is this what the rest of my life's going to be like?
Mm.
Like, I've never been that sick. I had pneumonia.
Ugh.
And I realize now that I had been treating my body as an endless supply of energy. You know, we were talking like you're an Aries sun, I'm a Leo sun, we're both Scorpio risings,
Mhm.
and we're the get it done girls.
Yeah, totally.
If
Totally.
someone wants something done, they come to us and we do it. And
Yeah.
that's been I take pride in it. And
Yeah.
that was
I
my
love that.
identity.
I know.
And so when I would empty the dishwasher, then I'd have to be on the couch for 2 hours.
Brutal.
And that really stripped away how I saw myself.
Yeah.
Luckily, that's not how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I know
Oh,
that now
gosh,
that I
no.
have my energy,
But in
starting
the
to get my
moment,
energy
though,
back.
you get that
But
panic. Like
in
it
the
does
moment,
feel.
and I think as energy workers, we pride ourselves on, our ego's over here and we know who we are. But sometimes it takes a really strong catalyst to strip away. It's like the universe is saying, "Oh, you think you know who you are? Who are you without getting it done?" It's like, "Ugh,
Ooh.
am I nobody without if I can't get it done?" So
Yeah.
then that kind of folds into the worthiness thing,
Yeah.
which you do so much better at presenting yourself, putting yourself out there, knowing what you have to give. I fight it. You know, this is the 10th year anniversary when my first deck came out, the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck, the one you talk about.
Hmm.
And I've had 5 other decks. So yeah, 5 other. I just put my last deck to my publisher last week.
Yay.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yay.
Do you think I call myself an expert? No.
It's very challenging to do. And I will say, first of all, thank you for seeing me. And also, I don't feel like I'm barely scratching the surface on what I could show to share, like to share. And thank you for that. And boy, is it a lot of work to allow yourself to let go of who you think you are and inform others of who you would like them to think that you are
Well,
in some kind of way. Like,
yeah.
it's not fake. It's not like but it's just such a different way of having to think. And when I think of, I do interact with many people, many of my closest friends. Some of the closest people in my life don't use social media. And I've been on it for so many years as a lifeblood and also as an interest to connect with others. But wow, like my best friend, she's a film editor in Toronto, and she's a little Pisces, and she would never want to be in front of the camera compared
Yeah.
to just being the strong female editor that she is. Like she is absolutely slaying in her career. And she looks at me, she's like, I could not even begin to think about how that affects you in some way. And I was even talking about this today actually with some friends that like celebrities are people, and it's very strange that we've seen them as stars who have like etheric good human qualities because they're good actors. Like that doesn't necessarily, or because they're good musicians.
Because we don't know them. So
We
we
don't,
fill in the
it's like, have you
blanks.
met them? And I've always thought,
Yeah.
so as a kid, I always thought that was odd. Have you always felt like that's strange that we like idolize, you know?
I never really idolized
I
anybody. Like
did. I didn't
I
have boy
didn't have
band posters.
no, I didn't have I think I might have had a small crush on Sean Cassidy, but
Okay.
that was because everyone else had a crush on someone, and I'm like, well, I guess
You
that's what
got to
I'm
pick
supposed to
someone.
do. I got
Yeah.
to pick
I
somebody.
had a crush on Einstein. So I got bullied.
Yeah, and I think being authentic and understanding energy, we see the persona and we see it as a persona. And it's not a judgment, it's
Yeah.
that's what they're paid to do.
Hmm.
So we go, okay, you're doing what you're paid to do. Good for you. I
Hmm.
don't know you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let my mind fill in the blanks of who I want you to be.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is quite dangerous for us to do that. And actually that is part of also what I care about with Oracle Fest, because I do see that happening in the spiritual world and in the influencer world. Suddenly every influencer, like every family blogger, I've been watching these documentaries about family blogging and whether or not it's a good idea.
Healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Healthy. Exactly. And there are serious dangers
Yeah.
um, to or threats to our human authentic heart and
Mhm.
spirit when faced with like all these mirrors that aren't quite right. Aren't, it's like a fun house. I feel like this AI world,
Yeah.
we're walking through like just everything slightly not as it was, like Alice in Wonderlandy kind of absurd.
I'm starting to get so sensitive to AI content. And don't get me wrong, I do marketing for other companies. I will go, give me a strategy or a schedule.
Yeah, yeah,
But you become
for
so,
efficiency's sake.
yes, like my time is better spent doing this than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. There is a real value to that. I'm never gonna.
Yes.
I mean, I for OracleFest love our little AI images. I love our little cartoon things. I would love to pay a cartoon artist to do that, and I don't have capital.
Right.
So, I am so grateful that I can create a brand that feels like a whole little world. And I
Mhm.
would never shade AI for that. But when I see the exact same thing coming out for every service, I'm an intuitive and it looks exactly like this. And this is I go, well, you didn't put even half a bit of effort into that.
No, or, I get used to the cadence, if that makes sense, of AI when they
Yes,
write.
yes,
And it
yes.
always starts, what no one tells you, or here's the roadblock
And it's
that
not
most
like
people don't
this.
see.
It's like that. It's not
Right.
this. It's that.
And the M dashes,
Yeah,
right?
I
I
know.
feel like saying to people nicely, like, just take the M dashes out.
We all don't want to see him anymore. It's a tough spot because there's a lot of grammar, correct folks who
Yeah.
are very disappointed because they've used M dashes, long M dashes. I never knew the difference of a long M dash. I'll be honest that
Yeah.
as much as I love language, I'm not a stickler for these things either.
You're
I
not that
always,
nerdy.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, not that direction of
How about
nerdy.
that?
Exactly.
It's just, I've started to, if I get an e-news and it is all AI written, I unsubscribe.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I'm finding it challenging, even with some of our much larger companies in the spiritual space, that I'm like, oh, but you have actual employees. Well, you actually make a good amount of money. Can you just write your posts, please? Like,
Yeah.
this is sad. And it's okay to use
Take it
it.
as a draft,
Totally.
and then
At the
make it
feel.
real. Yeah,
Yeah. And
I could go on and on,
I know. And that's not what we need to talk about, but it
No.
is something very clear that, like, every luminary I've spoken to about this abundance podium we're doing on Saturday,
Mhm.
the message is always like, yeah, I don't really need to talk about money, but we do need to talk about how people are expanding in life. And are we opening up to joy and fulfillment and confidence or even uh, authenticity, right? Like our
I,
own truth.
authenticity, going back to when we were both sick, and
Yeah.
I'm using it as a catalyst.
Yeah.
But I've been in, I've been open about it. I've been in survival mode for years since my divorce from my first husband. I had a second relationship and in abuse, and I became homeless for a few months because of it. So I'm hustling, like I was
Yeah.
hustling. I need to
Yeah.
keep a roof over my head. My youngest
Survive.
son is with me going to college. I got peeps that I need to
Yeah.
that depend on me.
Absolutely.
And it put me almost in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I've been making different decisions with boundaries. Like I will take some time off where the old me would go, no, but you're not getting paid for that
Yeah. And
because
you
you're
never
not
know when your
working.
next meal is going
You're
to
not,
come from and all those old things.
I've never missed a rent payment. I've never missed a meal. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've never missed a meal.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what? I always have a place to sleep, and I've always got food somehow, is
under
what
the
I
table,
say.
right?
Somehow.
I'm better than probably 80% of the world's population.
Yeah,
I'm not going to worry
absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely.
But if I take the opportunity, like I took a day off last week and went to the beach with my best friend,
Love it.
and it filled me with joy. And you can't buy that,
No.
but that's part of abundance. Abundance isn't just money. If it was, there'd be a lot of happier billionaires out there.
You know what I mean? We'd actually have no billionaires because they'd be so happy they wouldn't need the
Right.
billions.
They'd be giving their money away to help everyone else.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. No, I
it's,
absolutely see that. There's a
but
man I
it's all,
know. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, it's your vibration.
Yeah.
What are you vibrating at? And yes, I get this scarcity mindset, but breathe. And we talked a little bit before we hopped on that the astrological changes that have been happening and will continue to happen.
Big year.
There's been a huge shift in the energy,
Major.
major shift. And
And you said you
suddenly,
noticed end of June, right? For anyone
yeah,
else who's listening, like we both felt a real solid click for for me, the next decade at least was clicking in, like
yeah.
all in that
And
time.
I
Realizations
suddenly,
that have held me back for years, have lifted.
and I don't know if this is going to resonate with anybody out there, but I suddenly wanted to see myself the way other people see me. You know, like I could start to cry. My publisher, Schiffer Publishing, who I love, been with them for 10 years, they have a barbecue every year, every September. I went the first year before my deck was even out. Lovely people, but it's like a 6, 7 hour drive from where I'm at. And every year there was always something. I can't go, I can't go. This year I went, you know what? I'm going to go. And I connected with, I don't want to do the drive by myself. So I connected with a friend who's a writer who would love to have access to the editors and the publisher and just the experience. And I got when I did my little email response, I got a response from my editor and I think the assistant to the publisher. And they're like, oh my God, we get to meet you for real. And I'm like, I need to see me the way they see me a little bit. Just a little
Yeah.
bit, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh my gosh. I so know. And this moment sticks in my head for years. I was telling you about my really dear friend who's a film editor in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I've known her since school because I went to film school. And I remember we were driving around and I was talking about a friend of mine at the time, years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just so believe that this person has so much potential. And like, oh my gosh, if just things would clear out of her way, I just want everything to like work for her in life and go so well. And like, I don't know, I just thought she has so much to give this world. I just want, to free her
Yeah.
from whatever shackles she's held by and whatever. And it was just a compassionate sort of statement about another person. And of course, my best friend goes, that's how I feel about you. And I went, oh, because I had to then
Ooh.
suddenly feel that good way I was feeling about this other person and
Yeah.
try to imagine someone feeling that way about me. And it rocked me because I realized, oh my gosh, I've been really beating myself up instead of thinking,
The
oh, how sweet would that have been, or will that now be, to then embrace that. I'm so grateful for good friends to tell it like it is, because she didn't have to
yeah.
say that. And I could have taken that from offense of, I figured it out, put up those, but it just hits you in such a real way.
Or you could have bowed down to the negative voices in your head and said, no, you don't know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
don't feel that way about me because
Yeah. Let me fill in all the ways I can't or won't.
I suck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Exactly. So this abundance thing, almost I could have called it like confidence, because a lot of it is coming through to like belief systems that help us with confidence,
Yeah.
not necessarily come from it, but help us build that. And I think if a lot of sensitive people were given healthy doses of confidence and courage, we would have a lot more positive movement in the world. And I've been seeing a lot of people, and myself included, when I was ill, it was with like lower intestinal discomfort and migraines. So I was dealing with like top and bottom issues, right? To be like, what's coming in and what is exiting needs to both be in like a better flow. Almost it felt like so much of me was hanging on. Like I felt more like I was backed up, which is unusual for me to deal with for a while. And I was like, oh, that was causing the migraines to get worse, because you're holding this toxin in your body for longer. There's actually a side note, anyone who deals with migraines, there's a really big link to that. If anyone is curious, because it is, you're holding in and then the pressure is like increasing.
Well, the
Realize,
gut mind connection.
oh,
You don't
absolutely.
even know most of what's to know about it.
No, it's so similar to hypnotherapy and the subconscious mind, how there's like, 95% of your brain is working from stuff we don't really know about. Same with the gut. It's doing so much stuff we really have not quite understood the deeper layers. For me, that spoke to family and root issue based healing, which I was doing, my own stability, security, foundation of how I see myself, the identity that I take in the world. It's in that place. And then the migrate inner pressure and expanded mind and does that way I used to think match this new way that is coming in, and you get a tectonic plate shift, somewhere. Sometimes what it feels like, tectonic plates moving in your brain. And I saw it so as like, we're letting some things go here so they don't have to be carried through. And I just want to invite anyone who's listening to this that while symptoms are signals and while they are beneficial to encourage a shedding at times, they also don't need to be carried through. They do not need to continue showing you in that same way. We can soften the way that we relate to ourselves and to life. And wouldn't you know it, when I relieve some of the pressure that I was putting in my own mind, these migraines start to lift. And wouldn't you know it, when I focus on just the foods and way that I want to balance in life, and I keep repeating at that time, because some of my stuff was related to family-based patterns, I was like, I'm not my mother. I'm not my father. I'm not those things, right? Your identity is like all open, open world. You choose in so many ways because it's so shifting. The people, they're like married for so many years and they say, I got to know 7 different versions of my wife, and I loved everyone, hopefully, which is nice. It's that kind of thought with ourselves. And when we're spiritual people and our world is changing at such a rapid pace, I think we're going through it way, way more times than once every 7 years. I think we're going through these radical, these shifts in identity to hopefully bring more unity. But in order to do that, there has to be this, like, who are we within the community and the group?
Yeah.
I think it's wild to think that you can't see yourself or have not seen yourself as an expert or as this, like, people are so excited to meet you, because it seems so silly. But I'm sure people think that about me and everything I think about myself too, Yeah.
Funny, one time a friend of mine called and she goes, "Oh, I just saw your cards in this shop, about half an hour from here." And I'm like, "Oh," she goes, "You're a big deal." I went, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I saw them and I told the owner, oh, that's a friend of mine." And she goes, "She lost her shit."
Yeah.
I said, and this goes back to the celebrity thing. I'm not a celebrity, but people don't know me. So they project, I could be a horrible person. I'm not.
You're not. Can confirm. But the parasocial relationship thing is definitely real. And we do have a responsibility to be more of our true selves on the internet so that people get to know and feel who, like, not just to sell, but like actually just, it's important in our era right now, I think, to bring more of our true, be. I mean, I was like, we're just going to start this call because, and rightly so, I am feeling like, ooh, there's a lot of things going on. I was saying to Michelle that last year, now, did I tell you about the Abundance Podium last year? Much like what had happened for me just before? No.
I don't. We talk so much.
I know. I probably did. And then I said another 50 things and we can't keep all that in our brain. Okay, sure. So I was in Germany pet sitting. I was, normally when I'm nomadic and I'm pet sitting, I'm alone unless some stranger or friend happens to, like, come across my path. And I was lucky in Germany because the pet sitting owner's ex-partner is a very well-off guy, and he wanted the company for groceries, for taking me to this family-owned Italian restaurant that he loves, and I wasn't paying the bill, and I was thinking, well, this is pretty abundant, and they're making me gourmet food that matches my sensitivities, and they were hugging me, oh, Bella, when I come in, and I've never been treated so great, and I was in Germany. Oh, this is odd. I was walking around in these fields of wheat with this really happy beagle, and I was just feeding off this joy, right? This just total freedom and love that was coming from that. And wheat is, like, often known as, like, abundant as well, like harvest. Yeah, I put it in as all of the August abundance stuff because it feels to me very like nourishing from a stable place, because it's like it makes bread, right? Like it's like standard stuff. So that's the basics. It's not superfluous abundance we're talking about. We're talking about our natural state that already exists that we sometimes forget about. And I was given, so it was like, we're getting into about this time zone. And I was like, I have to be in Scotland like a few days after the Abundance Podium. And I don't have my ticket. I don't have a way to get my ticket. I'm like, what's happening? Who knows how this is going to pan out? It always does. But sometimes it goes real close to the wire just to test my faith, because we live this path, right? And so you doubt more, it creates more space. They get you right down to the timeline. And I was gifted this spot on a luxury 10-day trip all throughout Scotland to honor the Clan Graham. The Clan Graham Society was doing their like anniversary trip. Now, the only reason that I was offered this gift was because a year ago, I had offered that I really wanted to play them music. And if I could somehow find a way to join, I'd love to. And I didn't have the money to pay a deposit at that moment. So they filled the event and I said, whatever, I'm just going to make sure I get to Scotland. I'm going to share my music because I really want to tell them the story of Montrose and the ancestral healing path that I'm on. These are people that would care about it and I got to let them in. They're having an AGM. I'll provide some music, you know. And because I had generously given, I was generously rewarded.
Yeah.
A year later, not thinking about it ever again, because I was like, well, all I'm going to do is just show up and not be a part of it. I'm sitting in luxury hotels. All the meals are paid for, Michelle, this entire time. And then I thought, oh no, I have to get up to Upper Highlands because that's where all my clothing and all my items are. And I need to see my friend. Hey, I'm not going to be able to do the whole 10-day trip. I got to take these 2 days out. Oh, turns out we're actually going to Inverness the day that you need us. Oh, that is strange.
Yeah.
You know, it could not have worked out any better, truly. Then my friend in the Highlands messages me and says, oh, I know you must be getting tired of wearing the same clothes the whole time you've been nomading. And I do this job where I'm running into charity bin clothing so much. There's so much there. I've grabbed a whole bunch of stuff that I think you're going to love. So I came back to a new wardrobe. The money came in for the flight in total perfect timing. I got given this, you know, 10-day tour and a romance came into my life all at the same time, which funny enough, here we are again. The timing is just so magnificent. And even though you would look at my bank account and go, well, she didn't make tons of money. She didn't do her 10K month or whatever people are excited about these days. I was so rich in opportunity that it was unbelievable to my mind. And I lived so full in that time, you know?
So I think the key is, you nailed it, is the key is recognizing what abundance really is in your life. Because the more you recognize it, the more will come.
Right.
And so you're saying, I just need to make $10,000 a month. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to.
Yeah,
right.
not
That's the only
work unless I do this. Yeah.
You know, we're all called to be our authentic selves, and that puts us in the highest vibration, and that puts us into the flow, and then that puts us into gratitude. And, you know, it just ties in. I have so many stories about listening to my intuition, which brings me to the next step, to the next step. And I don't know if it was Wayne Dwyer who said, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, you know, you can get from the East Coast to the West Coast in a car of the United States. You can only see, say at night, 10 feet in front of you but you know you can get there. Yes. So you trust. Yes. I'll go 10 feet and then I will keep going the 10 feet.
Yeah.
I try to adopt that in my life.
That's such a beautiful way of looking at it. And it does work. It's actually, it's so wild. I have this real great charm blessing that was put on me. Like if I was Sleeping Beauty, one of the fairies gifted me empty seats next to me on airplanes. So the amount of airplanes I've taken is way beyond what I ever would have expected for my life, even at this point. And 80% of the time I have AC or two next to me, like not correct numbers. The last flight I was on, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I even going to do this? I got a flight for 75% off somehow. And then when I get there, they say, we're actually going to move you into the emergency aisle because we need someone to sit there. No one had like booked that spot. You cool with that? Totally cool. I'll open the door if we need to open the door. No problem. And then I get all this leg room and 2 seats next to me. Wow. Like
that's amazing.
When I was doubting in the airport, I was thinking, oh man, I had this thought that it's an A, B, and C seat. And I was in a B seat. And I was like, oh man, that's not super ideal for a 7-hour flight where you have to sleep. When, yeah, you're sleeping on this. I've already got neck pain. I was like, I don't want to do that. And so it was so wild. It was like such a light thought. And you know what it felt like? Because I've been doing more of this work for so long now in my mind, I actually just felt like someone was looking out for me and someone had given me this sweet gift. And I was like all happy to receive it. instead of brushing it off as some weird coincidence or saying, oh, yeah, I always get what I want. Because I
Yeah.
think sometimes this abundance mindset and hustle culture and manifest boss babe kind of stuff has come with like, I deserve this. And you do. But there's also this like
But
humble openness to whatever is going to come your way, even when it doesn't look so great. Like it looks like a B seat. And then it
yeah.
turns into the emergency aisle, but you had to wait. You couldn't sit there and panic. If I'd sat there and
Or,
stressing about it,
or
I
tried to plan. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, and try
It
to
was a
fix
thought and you let it go and
totally.
someone found it.
Same with the music, right? It was like, I want to just offer you this, and it'd be so awesome if I could somehow do the trip. Ah, well, that'd be so great, wouldn't it? I was like, wouldn't it be so great if they moved my seat? Ah, well, and then I just left it. The
No,
out is perfect.
and this is a small smidgen of what we're talking about. So I manage an antique store. And sometimes I'll look at something and go, why hasn't that sold?
Mhm.
On every time within 24 hours it sells. But if I go, that should have sold, I'm going to do a post about it, I'm going to put it on Facebook, and it sits there.
Nothing.
But if
Yeah,
I and now we joke, the owner and I, why hasn't that sold? And she goes, you got to let it go. Like
yeah.
we just got to we can't do it
A
intentionally.
watched a watched drawer never sells, you know.
Right. Um it's
Also, side note, how is working at an antique shop as a very sensitive, intuitive being?
you know what? A lot of people, so the place is haunted. It's in an old 1880s, used to be a hotel. I'm I'm always surrounded by that.
Yeah,
So
just another space.
it's
Yeah,
just another space. A
I'm
lot of
always
people come
curious
in.
because people get so weird about like thrift shops and antique and I'm like,
Like,
oh,
oh, I
everything
could
has a
never, never,
story.
never. Like,
Yeah, it's all got a
it's
story. Every single item.
it's just energy. And
Yeah,
I think if you're sensitive, if you're an empath or you're sensitive to energy, you came in to move energy. So
yeah,
just move the energy.
love
Just
that.
fucking move it, right?
Yeah, just do it. Just do
Just
it.
do it. Just move the energy. It's just energy.
Yeah,
It's how the label we attach to it. Oh, that's bad
yes,
energy.
abs-
That's my biggest like
yeah,
pet peeve.
yeah.
Only high vibes, only good energy. It's like it's just energy. You make it good, you make it bad.
Exactly. And we do, I mean, it's great because whenever we speak, there's of course the shamanic work that we share, and then there's the intuitive work. And then I'm always thinking about hypnotherapy and subconscious beliefs whenever we speak, because we end up just talking about how we believe in what's going on. So much of the stuff that's even stuck in that subconscious place, which is doubting and limiting us or
Mhm.
are creating panic when it's not necessary. Because that's what happens. People look at their bank account and then they're like, oh, my mom told me to have this much in my account now. Now I'm
Right.
scared. That stuff is so locked in from your childhood that until you're in a calm, receptive, or back of mind dreaming or hypnotherapy or shamanic journeying space, or you're going on a walk and just something lands and sort of it to stare at it and to force it to go away is also not very helpful. So the
Yeah.
healing path, I think a lot of people can feel stuck. I actually am writing a whole email about this today, so it's very top of mind. And I'll mention the abundance podium in it because it's sort of like a lot of people actually get this sense that when they are working on a problem, that they're getting through it by understanding it, and that's not always true
Yeah.
because we are often I was looking at migraines obviously, and I went to hypermentalization as a concept,
Mhm.
which makes sense. We bring things to the mind as an
Yeah.
automatic and forget that there is also the experience which is waiting for us. There's the feeling that also needs to sit and match. There's the reducing of the stories that have like stayed in our minds as well, which is all an experiential subtle thing. Because you were mentioning before, this June shift felt so clear and not
Yeah.
like a subtle one. Normally, my work is the same as yours too. I tend to find subtle, gradual shifts that are
Yeah.
profound and powerful once you realize they've taken place. Hypnotherapy has that exact same benefit. Same with
Mhm.
journeying because the gifts sort of land over time.
Right.
And yeah, I just love that we are like now in a space in time where we can
So I
just
think when you try, like back to what you were saying, when you try to solve a problem by focusing on the problem, it's like, so I'm also a medium, and I was taught not to, there's no use of protection. Like, why would you want to protect yourself? Because if you think you need protection, then you're focusing on the feeling or the fear, and that's what you're going to attract.
I feel that same way. And everyone has always thought that I'm kind of kooky for like
Yeah.
kind of love and light, or I'm just like washing over. And I go, I know I might look that way. I promise you, it's not all love and light that's going on in here. I just think I don't want to feel like a little weakling to forces that are neutral without my telling them what they are.
And so I had moved away from my shamanic group that I studied and spent probably over 10 years with, and where it was not easy for me to get to. And I thought, well, I need a new tribe. So I remember when meetups were a big thing. So I did a meetup for mediumship development. And I'm like, oh, those are my people, right? So I get in, and the gentleman who was running it first, he says, rule number 1, never do mediumship outside, only inside. I'm like, tell me more. Like, tell me why.
Way back when we had no inside.
You can control the spirit inside and not. I'm like, their gate. It's like the window.
Remote?
Yeah, remote. Like a collar. Like, I don't know. And so and I'm like, okay. And my dad, I'm like, don't judge. Like, maybe these aren't your people, but you're here. You know, might as well spend the rest of the time.
Right.
And then we did like a circle and calling it in protection. And I just want to say, I just want you to know I'm opting out of the protection. This is my belief, but you do you. Like,
yeah.
And I had this woman, bless her heart, right? She leans over and she points her finger at me. And she goes, oh, you're going to regret that. I have read books. I have read so many books, and you're going to be sorry. I'm like, have you ever, like, I've dealt with demons. Like, have you ever spoke to a spirit? Well, no, but I've read the books, and you're going to be sorry.
I'm very scared for you. I don't need you to be scared for me. Yeah.
So again, the more you think about a problem, the more focus you're putting it. So the more you think about, what could a spirit do to me? It could do this and that. So you're putting yourself in fear, which is lowering your vibration. And what do we know about energy? Like attracts like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think we can circle back to abundance, that the more you focus on what you don't have, which I think everyone knows by now, the more you're going to get of what you don't have.
And the more you focus on solving specifically with a specific outcome pathway, the more you are limiting the potential for your life to go in so many greater miraculous ways. Okay. Tiny example that relates to OracleFest. Then we'll talk a little about the Abundance Podium and how people can find you, and we'll close up because I could talk to you all day. It's dinner time around here.
Same.
Yeah, good. One thing that showed up recently in the OracleFest sphere is I had been thinking about this series, which I can maybe speak a little bit to now, but I'm still very secretive about it, which is the historicals, which is like history of ancient seers, visionaries, prophets, and oracles throughout time, and what we can learn from, for good and for worse, about the roles that we have in society. And I was like, man, that'd be so awesome. That needs to be created, da, 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 da. And I'd held it in my mind for like, honestly, 1.5 years, and it has not felt right to produce. And then I was like, let's just get something. Let's just force something out there, you know? And I recorded one episode and was like, that's not it. I knew it. It was so clear. I was like, that's not it. I don't even care. That wasn't wasted effort. I know that that's not it now, right? I wouldn't have known unless I tried. This does not need to be a YouTube. I went to film school. This is so good. It should probably actually just be well produced. This could be a really cool series if done well. And it won't be what I can see it as possible if I just keep trying to force it to be in this little box so that it's out soon, because that was my outcome that I was expecting for it, was I wanted it out. Well, isn't it better it's out how it wants to be out and not how I want it to be out? So remove me from the equation. What is it saying, right? And same with Oracle Mountain and OracleFest. I listen to the mountain and I say, what do you need? And for months and months, it was like, girl, you need to rest. Here is your tower. Here is your bed. You hang out and you get perspective. And I was like, okay, I'm done getting perspective. They were like, you haven't even slept yet. You know what I mean? I was like just trapped in this Rapunzel tower of Oracle Mountain for good purpose, like for it, it's all receiving instead of me telling it what to do. So that to me is the anti-hustle culture improve, we can take action, we can work in flow, we can receive, but we got to stay open to whatever it's actually wanting to be and not what we were telling it, you know?
Yeah, and that's also your Aries sun. Because I know in my Virgo moon, when I was resting, I'd have all day my friends would be, "Are you resting? Are you resting? Are you taking care of yourself? You're drinking water." And I'm
Try
like,
it.
"Yeah, I'm resting."
Yeah.
And my best friend went, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just went upstairs. I emptied all the cabinets and the drawers from the bathroom. I put it in a big bucket and I'm organizing it." She goes, "That is
That's
not
not
resting."
resting.
I go, "But I'm on the couch while I'm
Right.
doing it."
I know.
And
I'm
she
like,
goes,
I'm
"You're
gonna
not
lay in
resting."
bed. I'm gonna lay in bed and rest this migraine and just work on one task. Like,
Right.
no
What
kidding.
can I do while
No,
I'm
no.
resting?
Right, right. Wrong pathway. But you just go, well,
Yeah.
this is outdated. This isn't actually the way that I feel anymore. It's just thoughts that are, rinsing, recycling. Hey, we didn't need to use that much. And hey, we don't need to be full power all the time. Actually, it's not wise to be, and we learn it. We learn it over time. I'm so excited for all the people who are coming to this abundance podium because I know who's coming. I know who you all are. And I know you're holding some real deep, grounded, living wisdom for those who are listening, like you were mentioning before, the folks who have been tuning in. This is in our pre conversation, the folks who have been tuning in to what is happening collectively on a spiritual or energetic level, and also just within themselves. If you've been on a deep inner journey and feeling like you are getting some insights or progress on what might come next, it's going to be a lot easier the rest of the year. The more you tune
Yeah.
into spaces like this that are high vibrational, like it's so key for me to keep holding these as the rest of this year goes on into Big Oracle Fest, because I feel we need these gathering, collecting points to collectively raise our frequency and continue sharing out in the world what is so true for all of us. I bet you everyone who shows up at the podium is also going to be in this same frequency with us. So, yeah, if
Well, I'm
anyone has
excited.
resonated, please, I'll put the
Yeah,
link.
I'm excited for Saturday. I'm going to do
Yeah.
a guided
Oh,
shamanic journey on
amazing.
finding your abundance.
Amazing. Yeah.
So,
I'm going to do a journey and song at the end, but I know it'll be quite different than yours. And so that's double the journeying power, everyone.
yes.
And I know Kirsty Lauren is also going to bring us through an experience because I love when people bring us through experiences. We just got to sit and be, right? Just sit
That's
and
so,
be.
yeah.
See, we just all sit at a fire and then someone starts sharing a story or a song,
Mhm.
right? That's what it is. That to me is what it is when we're doing these podiums. It feels so sweet. Whew, I just got really excited. I feel like after this abundance podium, a lot of stuff is going to start clicking in for people. So I'm also putting the word out there, like get it while it's hot and while it's live, because you're going to want that. And of course, the replay will be available for any Star Access folks. But of course, we'd love to see you live. We do live readings at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern.
Those
And
are
so
always wild.
I love that you love them because it would so not be Oracle Fest without Michelle and bringing her own Oracle cards in.
Mm.
And I love because I remember, I'm going to expose you. I hope you're okay with
Okay.
this. But you're
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
I
I think I
don't
know what
really
you're going to
know
say, but go ahead.
I was like, I don't really know if I'm the type for this. And I was like, you're so beyond the exact type for this. And it reminds me of this whole, like the mirror of,
Yeah.
yeah, you got this and we love you and we want you to just be yourself because it's actually so wise and experienced and we need it. And you cut to the chase. So I want you there for the live reading.
It's the cutting to the chase thing. And
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell one story, and I told you this. I'm very blunt. I'm very like, I can look at your cards and I know like immediately
Yeah.
the vibe, the feeling, the emotion.
Yeah.
I don't fancy up my words. I don't talk in a very ethereal, esoteric way. And some people love that. Some people want different. And that's why we're all different, right?
Exactly. And that's
But
what I want at the circles so that everyone has a unique voice to listen to, Michelle.
so I'd taken a friend of mine for her birthday to go get a psychic reading because she'd wanted, and I'm thinking like, I'm a psychic, but I tend not to read for my friends just because I
Yes.
know how impactful a good reading can be, and I don't want
Yes.
them walking away going, well, she knew that about me, or
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Totally.
I don't want to muddy
Totally.
the waters.
Yeah.
So she said, well, let's both get a reading. So when it was my turn, and her name's Betty Lipton, she's about in her 70s, Brooklyn accent, cut to the chase.
Yeah.
And my biggest question was like, I want to do more with my energy work, put it out there more. Like, but there's something in me that's holding me back. And I realized it's the worthiness thing. It's the mirror.
Mm.
And I wanted, this blows my mind. I wanted the fancy, esoteric, ethereal words from her. And she looked at me and she said, just fucking do it.
Great.
I'm like,
I love this story.
yeah, okay. I guess that's how
Okay.
I talk to people. So
It's kind of how my guides talk to me sometimes. Sometimes my guides can be so straight up. Like I got this bison that I work with. He pulls
yeah.
no punches. Like and he's my abundance guide actually. So it makes total sense because you just want someone to be
Yeah.
cut straight to the chase. Just tell
Yeah.
me what's up.
Yeah, I can handle it. I'm a big girl.
So Michelle is that person for anyone who wants to come to the live readings. And I'm also sometimes that person, Scorpio rising and fire suns. I think there's a wicked combo for getting right to it.
Great to the point.
Totally, totally. And I think that's what we need for abundance. We don't want the wishy-washy, bleep, 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 bleep. That's not working. Otherwise, it would have worked when we saw it on a billion social media posts. So for anyone who's looking for that deeper experience, this is what OracleFest holds because it's not just Michelle, it's also Kirsty Lauren and Adrian Amari who will be talking pentacles and cups, so more tarot journey for anyone who's interested in that. Kirsty Lauren will be doing light language and bringing heart activations, and she does a lot of grid work. And so she always has very interesting insights when it comes to abundance. She's also got one of those blessings for flights. So she might talk about that as well, because she's also a fellow traveler. And then, so Michelle, Kirsty, Adrian, Amari, come on, brain. We can do this. Apologies to whoever I'm currently not saying because my brain is logging off at the end of this chat here. But let me find, of course, Arlene Porter. I actually do so much work with Arlene Porter as well. We just recently did this Golden Web event, which was a beautiful channeled healing. And we are doing a Golden Path retreat in Scotland, in Stirling, in September. So golden is like always woven in. And what I find about Arlene, she's like a divine channeler, very open with love and divine energies this way. I find her ability to channel and bring in divine energies and accept and receive all of them to be highly abundant on a spiritual level. Just her welcoming of all of that and positive energy from every single woman who is joining us this Saturday, which I'm very, very excited about. I have chills
I'm so
all over my
excited.
body. It feels so good what we're about to create. So I hope everyone just hears this and is able to join us live. And if not, please go watch the replay because I feel it deep in my bones. This is going to be a really, really good one. So, Michelle, I'm going to put your info down below too, so people go and look you up and find you. Please go buy at least one of Michelle's decks because they are a game changer. They are different than other people's Oracle decks. Of course, every Oracle deck is different, but Michelle does have this real great way of making things as they are so that you can be real with yourself. And I think that a lot of Oracle cards can get us away from being real with ourselves, which is okay sometimes. I think yours are the get back to you kind of Oracle decks.
I always tell people, they tell you how to get out of your own way.
They do. They're so good at that. Thank you so much for all of that over the years. I'm still trying to get out of my own way, as we all are. But boy, do your cards help. I know. You only know, right? Like you create because you knew. I always say that.
I have lived every single one of the cards. I think I counted the other day with all my decks. I've drawn over like 360 cards.
Amazing. Absolutely. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm going to end this call now. Otherwise, we'll keep going into the abyss of forever, as oracles do, waning on and on about what is interesting down below. So I will say thank you to you, Michelle, for being here. Thank you to everyone for listening. If you're here at this point, double check that you're subscribing to the YouTube, because YouTube does this thing where they just share it out, even if you're not subscribed. So you think, oh, I see their videos all the time. I'm subscribed. You're not. So that'd be really awesome so that I know that you're here. And make sure you get on the OracleFest email list and just come join us at the Abundance Podium. It's only $33 for a Saturday, whole afternoon, deep radical healing. It should totally not be $33, but I like people feeling like they can join us. So that way it stays. And of course, if you want the replay, you're not able to make it this Saturday, then get that. And it also gives you access to Big Oracle Fest, which is where we join with 30 plus other oracles. Michelle will also be there, and for Omen Days and everything as the year goes on. So you get access to a whole year and replays. I think it's great. $188, the Star All Access Pass until the autumn when we'll shift into early bird season for Big Oracle Fest. So here we are at the first harvest this Saturday, and I will put the link below for Abundance Podium, and we'll hope to see you all there. And keep staying tuned for more of Michelle because she'll still be here with OracleFest. Anything else before we go?
No, I think that's it.
Good.
I'll talk about stuff that's going on Saturday.
Good. Yeah, yeah. We'll do some deeper world insights on Saturday. I really can't wait. It's such a joy to have you here as always. Thank you, Michelle, and goodbye to everyone here. We'll see you next time on Oracle Mountain.
Thank you.